everything's on the table right now. So I'm not going to speculate about whether we're a buyer or a seller of it, but I obviously have suggested that. I'm concerned about undifferentiated general entertainment, and particularly in the competitive landscape that we're operating in.
One longtime media exec saying now is the right time for Disney to offload Hulu to a competitor like Comcast, parent company of this network. Joining us is Engine Media Executive Chairman and former NBC Cable President Tom Rogers. Tom, great to have you with us. Do you think that is what happens? Because it has been long rumored that Comcast would love to get all of Hulu, by the other 2/3 that it doesn't own, in order to have a streaming service that would beef up Peacock.
Well, let me first say, Melissa, the Iger interview followed by the Peltz throwing in the towel live on CNBC made me very, very proud to have founded this channel almost 34 years ago. That was great television. Look, I don't think either company should buy or either company should sell. I think what they really should do is build this joint venture by throwing more of their streaming assets into it, develop it together. I don't know how realistic it is, probably not, given the relationship between these companies. Having been chairman of the board of A&E and History Channel for 10 years, which was a joint venture between NBC and Disney, it can work, and you can really grow a business if people are dedicated to doing it. I don't think anybody can catch Netflix among the traditional content players unless they do something like that. But short of doing something like that, yes, I think the right answer is for Disney to sell Hulu, for Comcast to buy Hulu, and both companies have reasons for both for those actions.
Would that make you more excited about Comcast and its prospects in streaming if it did buy the rest of Hulu?
I think Comcast putting Peacock and Hulu together would certainly make the overall streaming effort far more formidable. I could see why Disney wouldn't want to do that if it wanted to block a competitor, but I don't think it has the balance sheet or flexibility right now to use blocking a competitor as a reason not to pursue that transaction. And I think Disney, for many reasons, would do much better consolidating the programming of FX and Fox. It's going to lose the NBC programming anyway. Put it together with the ABC programming on Disney Plus. Disney Plus needs to drive price. It has to drive the value proposition. It now has originals at 1/6 as many per quarter as Netflix does. It needs some more originals there. Rich Greenfield's done some terrific work showing how the buzzy Hulu originals just get no viewing in the top 10 weekly on streaming. 82% of minutes on streaming go to Netflix in the top 10 lists every week. 1% has gone to Hulu. You got to rectify that, and the way to rectify it is to consolidate your promotional efforts through a single entertainment channel. I didn't think Iger would give any particular view on that, but he ended up in the Faber interview basically saying, look, we're open, and I took that as very much meaning if they could come to a resolution here involving a sale, it would make sense for them to do it.
Hey, Tom, it's Karen. In terms of the arms race for content, Disney talked about, wanting to pare back. If you were Netflix, do you spend more now or less, or what? How do you view the landscape?
Well, Netflix is so far ahead in terms of streaming expenditure relative to any of the others that whether it spends $1 billion less or $1 billion more, what it is producing in terms of original episodes, what it is able to garner by way of audience, it's doing 8% of television time. Disney Plus is doing about 2% of television time. At the margins, what Netflix spends more or less, I don't think is really going to change the competitive balance. I do think that what Disney has to do by way of cutting costs, as all the traditional media companies do, and cutting content costs while raising price, meaning driving price while reducing the amount of quality content they put out there. I think Netflix will be advantaged by that. And clearly, Netflix is in a very different position, having broken out from the rest of the pack. And I just don't see any way any of them on their own can catch them, which is why I would advocate a joint venture that's bigger as opposed to breaking it up.
Tom, always great to get your take. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Tom Rogers, Engine Media, Guy Adami.
Stud. I have to say that because he's still watching. And listen, all the things that he's been talking about literally for the last couple of years in terms of Netflix, Disney, what Disney needs to do, what they're not going to be able to do. And again, now that they're not focused in much as subs as monetization of ARPU, as we mentioned last night, it's going the wrong way. And that's tough to turn that needle back. So I think it makes sense that Disney sold off today. It makes sense that Netflix is still in the lead position. But there's an opportunity by Disney. It's just not at 110.
Average revenue per user by the ARPU.
Yes.
We can't just blurt it out and not explain what it is.